Welcome everyone to another episode of E2KGn30. This is episode 36 for Thursday, 29 March 2018. Tonight, the theme is Total Chaos, as Prime has put on his lower third there. E2KGn30 is our new show. We like to pick the most interesting articles from us over, roughly the last week and chat about them a little bit. But tonight we're going to experiment a bit. We're going to mess with the format. So we're going to start off by just kind of hitting the news articles really quickly, giving like a cliff note, not even a Cliff Notes overview, just real quick, hit all the articles that we'd like to cover, and then we're going to let ourselves settle into more of a free-form discussion about the story. So hopefully it gets the news out there quickly, and then it gives us a little bit of breathing room when we want to talk about them. So first news article for the night comes from Eurogamer. And it is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as weapons skins, and is considering region-locked servers. So they just came out with a new test server update. So this hasn't really gone live. They introduced some new weapon skins, loot crates, yada yada. But the big news is Bluehole is, quote, considering region-locked servers. So they're going to play around with it. And according to Bluehole, though, it's not due to the cheating issue that's been kind of rampant on the PC side of things. They, quote, hope that it will provide a better gameplay experience as it will improve network issues and help with linguistic barriers. We will note that the BattleEye, the anti-game cheating company that I believe is Bluehole's not subsidiary, but subcontractor for their anti-cheating campaign, notes that a vast majority of PUBG cheaters come from China. I think it was over 99%. So that was recently announced. That was announced, I believe, on Monday. Next news story, we have some game announcements. We got Dragon Quest XI. Massive hit in Japan. I think that they actually have like basically a state holiday or something. People take off from work when Dragon Quest XI hits the streets. I don't think it's my impression is it's not quite as big in America. But we should be saving this for the discussion. Just the news, just the facts, ma'am. All right, so it's coming. PC, PS4 to the United States, and it has been announced for Switch. They have not said when it's going to arrive for the Switch yet in the West. Unfortunately, the 3DS version is not coming at all. So it was actually the same game, but it was kind of a like 2D/3D. They utilize the 3DS for the graphics. So that's really unfortunate because again, commentary. We're experimenting with the format, and I'm really struggling already. Date that is coming out, September 4th, PC, PS4, Dragon Quest XI. Another game announcement. It's not really an announcement because they kind of announced it earlier, but GameSpot had a first look today at Artifact. Artifact is Valve's new game, their first fully released game since Defense of the Ancients 2, which came out in 2013. And it's a Defense of the Ancients card game. So GameStop took a look at that, how you use the heroes and how they kind of blended kind of the MOBA style with the card battle. Prime, you had a few, I think.
Yeah, I have a couple going on here. We have a couple game announcements too, some more. No Man's Sky is coming out for the Xbox One. Well, Xbox One family, I should say, because that's original Xbox, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X. And then there's going to be some new content coming up, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And also, my browsers are freaking out, so I can't really talk about it. I don't have it in front of me. And then the other game I'm going to talk about here is Red Faction Guerrilla Remasters. Nice little pun there. If you know anything about Red Faction, you know it takes place on Mars. So this is a remaster of the 360, I believe, and PS3 game, where it's kind of open world, third-person view of kind of the sequels to the. I think there's 2 Red Factions, which I believe are just first-person on the PC, and then this one, the Red Faction Guerrilla, came out PC and it came out on the consoles too. So very excited about that. So I want to talk a lot about that here in a few minutes, and then. Yeah, just those 2, and then just real quick, I just want to throw out there that because I have Mr. Incredible out here on my my windowsill, the Lego Incredibles game is going to come out. I believe, I think in a couple months. Actually, I thought it was June. I don't have that news story in front of me, but I believe it was in June. It was coming out, and that's going to have the first Incredibles movie and the newest one, which is coming out this year. So that should be pretty cool too. And then that's it for the game announcements. So it looks like you have some more news, Swiss.
Yeah, I got this article from Game Informer. Universal holding Game Dev Challenge, including worlds like Back to the Future and Voltron. So Universal, in conjunction, I think they're working with Unity, the game engine company. So they're having a challenge where you pitch video games on some of their biggest franchises, quote, biggest franchises. Back to the Future, Turok, which apparently Universal owns the intellectual property now in some way, shape, or form, maybe with the comments. Or, excuse me, not comments, comics. Battlestar Galactica, Voltron, and Jaws. So the challenge is where you pitch the game idea, and they get judged, and some lucky person will get to work with the team and develop a game. So that's kind of cool. No matter what, they said 6 finalists will be chosen. Single winner chosen to produce the game. All finalists, all 6, will receive $20,000 in prize money. Nice. And yep.
All right, and for my final 2 news articles here are I have this kind of like a fun article I saw online a couple days ago, actually yesterday. What's today? 29th. Yeah, so it was yesterday. So an Overwatch League player is going to be throwing out the first pitch at a New York Mets game. Let's see where it says. It's a game on April 2nd, so this weekend, I believe, or Monday.
Okay, so I guess the Mets are on the road right now.
Yeah, so Monday. So April 2nd is a Monday. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about that if we get time. But I just thought it was kind of cool. I guess the owner of the Mets also owns the Overwatch League that this guy is a part of, the Overwatch League team, I should say. So he's on Team New York Excelsior. That's the Overwatch League team he's on. So he's going to be throwing out the first pitch on April 2nd. So be on the lookout for that. And then finally, we have a price cut for the PlayStation VR, and it's coming down from $399 to $299 in the US, and then $349 coming down to $259 in the UK. It looks like, so I believe that's pounds in this article. So about $100. Obviously, it's $100 difference. So in that little package, I thought it had it in here, but I guess not. Dang, that was another.
Yeah, you get the headset, the camera.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
And Doom VFR.
Yep.
In the United States.
Yes.
They switch out the game with PlayStation VR Worlds in the UK.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's $100 difference. So it's a nice little price.
And it's permanent.
Yes. Yeah. Not just a sale.
Yep. All right. So those are the news items that we kind of cherry picked this week. And now we get to the fun part where we get to talk about them, and which you could tell we're both champing at the bit. It's going to take a while for us to break that habit. And any extensive listener of the show knows that we like to talk about things. So, so the first article that we had was one that I had picked, and it's the PUBG thing. And really, it kind of was on my radar because I've been reading a lot about PUBG, reading a lot about Fortnite. I kind of want to get in the battle royale thing and pick one up and play with it. But as I reading about which one is which, personally for me, I find the building aspects of Fortnite, those artifacts from the like actual Fortnite game originally, a little less appealing. So I was also reading about PUBG, and I know a lot of people have gone from PUBG to Fortnite because of the cheating, what they perceive as a significant problem. I watched an IGN video, and there's some guy on a hill randomly shooting a shotgun, and way off in the town, inside buildings, these two people just fall down dead. So it's 90, and as Battle I mentioned, 99% of the cheaters that they're banning are from China. So a lot of people have been asking, hey, can we region lock this? So, at least where the biggest problem is will be cut off from, Europe and the US. But I know that Player Unknown or Bluehole, or I'm not really sure what the parent company is. I guess Bluehole has been reluctant to pull that trigger, so to speak. And it seems, though, that they're kind of dancing around the edges of it with this announcement. They were quick to say it's not because of cheating, but a lot of people read it that way because, it could affect it. Now, one caveat is if, Prime, you're in China or wherever, South Africa, Germany, and you want to play with me in the United States, Canada, I can invite you and, whatever we have to do to link up as friends, and you'll be able to play on the servers here. So it's not like a complete, firewall, if you will, but maybe it will help the cheating. But if it helps, two people that are, one speaks German and one speaks Chinese, and they're having to team up, I can understand that kind of degrading the gaming experience a little bit too. So
yeah, so I guess that's more like on the matchmaking side, I guess, right? They kind of just try to block people off. But if you have a friend in China, you can, I guess, invite them. So
right.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, hopefully that'll help with the lag too, if they do end up doing that. Because at least on the console side, I've never played on PC, played on mobile, but I haven't played on PC yet. Who knows? I might get it one day for the PC. There is still some lag, like here and there when I'm playing. So at least on a few games, when I'm playing, and sitting down for a few hours playing it. So hopefully it'll fix that at least.
Yeah, but we don't even know yet if they're going to actually do it. So they're basically limited. It's a limited test on their test servers, and they're seeing how people are going to like it. So I just know, as I perused Reddit, it's been people have been clamoring for that, at the risk of using Reddit as a decent pulse of sentiment.
I've seen it in other comments on like groups and stuff that I follow on Facebook too, so that they wish they would region lock it. So I mean, well, we'll see if it actually happens.
All right, so Dragon Quest 11. This is a game that I'm kind of intrigued by. I haven't actually played any of the mainline Dragon Quest titles. I played Dragon Quest Builders. I don't know how analogous like the sense of humor and storytelling is to the mainline titles, but I know that they're pretty much a big deal in Japan. And I was hoping to get my hands on it at some point. It's kind of disappointing that they're not going to be able to release the Switch version anytime soon. So, I mean, they've already come out and said it will not be in 2018. And, for comparison's sake, they're putting the PS4 and PC releases out on September 4th. So, and they said it's basically due to the differences in technology. So, were you? I know you can play RPGs. I don't know how much of a fan you are.
Yeah, I'm more of the action RPG. And I think this is more like turn-based gameplay, correct?
I
Or at
think
least
it's more like classic JRPG. Like it's pretty. I want to say. I don't know if it's turn based.
or more of like kind of like here you gotta pick a like a menu pops up and say you can fight, defense, and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess that's not turn based. I mean, that's what I'm thinking of, but I'm calling it turn based. That might not be the right word.
Yeah, the old like Final Fantasy active time battle stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought it was like. I've never played, like I said, like just like you, I've never played a mainline one. I've just played the Grand Quest Builders. So, and
Yeah.
that's real time fighting. I don't know. Maybe they've changed it. Unfortunately, I was going to try to watch the video, but I can't because I had to close that window out. I don't know what the gameplay is like.
Yeah, I haven't. I've watched some trailers, but there hasn't. It's been a while, so I want to say. I wanted to say that there's some real time stuff involved, but
Yeah, I saw a couple of quick clips. I think earlier in the day.
Mhm.
It looked like they were just kind of just running around like the area in the game. So I don't know if that translates to the fighting too. If you can just for like free form fight or how that plays out. I didn't get to that part, so I'm not sure.
All right, so yeah, ill prepared tonight.
Total chaos.
All right. But yeah, the bigger news was one, the announcement dates, but two, the fact that this is like one of the first like stories. It's like, oh yeah, we want to put like not good for the Switch in a while. Like I just feel like the Switch has been, oh yeah, we're getting all sorts of things, and then this is kind of a Debbie Downer. But,
it'll come eventually, though. At least.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe, kind of, sort of.
But yeah, as I read, I'll probably read more about it as we get closer to the date. But all right, so we talked about Dragon Quest Builders. So Valve and Artifact. This, came up because, as we all know, how much Agasicles is in love with Valve and Steam right now. It was like people are excited, hey, they're coming out with a game. I remember a little while ago they were like, oh, it's a new Portal game coming out. And it was like the Portal like skin over the bridge building game type thing. And so that was a little disappointing. And I think people have been pretty disappointed in Artifact too. I watched a video of the announcement, and it was like Artifact, and then underneath it said a Dota card game, and you could hear the audience like groan, like they just couldn't help it. But yeah, the game, the system has been detailed on GameSpot's in an article on GameSpot, a long form article. So, if you're interested and you're into card games, they get into the battle system and whatnot. For me, the crux of the article, or the crux of why I chose it, E2KGn30 isn't the biggest news stories. It's the ones that interest us the most as gamers with real jobs and real families and real responsibilities. So my limited gaming time, I look at Valve and I say, man, I wish they'd make another Portal game or something. And instead we get a card game, and it just feels like a money grab because we all know, these microtransaction models are kind of a revenue stream that's here to stay. And it doesn't feel like they're tacking it into a game now. It just feels like now they're just building games around the model, and it's like, I want a real game experience, please. But there's probably going to be some angry notes for people that are big Hearthstone fans and stuff, but it just doesn't appeal to me.
But they say they've been working on it for well over 3 years now, so I'm sure
that's
true.
Also concerning. Well, I mean, that may be true though, because isn't Valve kind of like one of these, Silicon Valley-ish companies where they're like, yeah, we have what we work on, but you kind of work on what you want. And then when it gets cool, then we kind of add more resources to it and actually present it. Like I know at Google, aren't you supposed to work like 20% of your time on whatever you want? And then the company just kind of picks and chooses what little pet projects that they happen to promote into fully fledged Google projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I believe that's how it's working. Yeah. Fully fledged betas.
yeah,
Say Google.
it's true.
Yeah,
I
no.
learned Angular JS and then they killed it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I feel it could have been like a tinker with like one or two people for however long before they decided maybe this is going to be lucrative and put more effort into it. But
Yeah. And they said they're working with the creator of Magic the Gathering. So I mean they could have been working on something for a while now. So
all right, true story.
concepts.
In 10th grade, I had Magic the Gathering, and I was like playing with one of my friends, and I wasn't in the cool clique, but my friend kind of was. And I remember another kid coming to the table and saying, "Dude, you're not playing Magic the Gathering, are you?" And then didn't acknowledge me, and then the guy was like, "Oh, I don't really know what I'm doing."
He didn't like smack the cards out of your hand or anything, did he?
No.
Okay, that's good.
It was somewhat sarcastic, but it also was a shot across the bow. And that's my Magic the Gathering story.
Maybe he really wanted to play it. You didn't get the hint. He was trying to get in the game.
That's true. I never thought of it that way.
See?
Prime with glass half full.
That's right. Always the positive side. Well, sometimes.
The glass isn't half full. It's half as large as it needs to be.
That's right. So it looks like they said there'll be an iOS and Android later in 2019 also. So
yeah, that's just a dead giveaway that it's like a microtransaction factory.
Yeah, and maybe a VR version, which okay.
Well, really?
All right.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, at the very bottom under the conclusion section. Yeah, that says later down the road.
Well, you could. By that point, I had been so disappointed, I stopped reading.
You just thought, okay. I would think that'd be more like an AR thing than a VR, but hey,
a VR version down the road. There's a part of me that would want to experience that just to be like, what are they planning on doing? But it's going to be like those movies, like 3D movies, where they just like, woo, into the camera, and it's just like, oh wow, they moved the mop stick in front of me.
You could see your virtual opponent right there, though. You can like look up at him and like smack him, even though it's not really smacking him. So,
ooh, a whole mini game around VR
right.
and being a bad sport.
Oh yeah, who you can flip the table over.
I wonder why we don't see stuff like that more often in games. That should be a topic. Things that should be in games to better reflect humanity.
That's right.
Table flipping.
Or the dredges of humanity.
Yeah. All right. So those were the games that I kind of saw this week, the announcement type stuff. And you actually have some pretty good ones too. So
yeah. So the first one, like I mentioned before, No Man's Sky coming to the Xbox. And also they had I guess it's a teaser, just like a teaser font. It says No Man's Sky Next, which is their next big update to the game, which is coming this summer. And also that's when the Xbox version is supposed to come out sometime this summer. They didn't specify when, but I thought I saw somewhere that it was second quarter. So that would be like right at the beginning of summer of the year. But so the main game will be coming along with all the previous DLC that they had released prior to that, which includes Foundation, Pathfinder, and Atlas Rises. So that's all going to be available on day one on the Xbox, and then also when the No Man's Sky Next update comes, that'll drop on Xbox at the same time too. So it's pretty excited. I know DB had been talking. This was his game that he picked I think it was a couple games ago. He played through and was talking about it, and I actually, kind of got excited about this game when even a little bit more, even when he was talking about it. I was kind of bummed when it wasn't released originally on the Xbox system, but I kind of had a feeling and I mentioned this in our kind of chat group that it was going to come to Xbox at some point, just because every time they asked, the company was asked, and that's I believe it's Hello Games. If it was ever going to come to Xbox, it was just PS4 and PC initially, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, hey, look, a squirrel, and they kind of just avoided the question. So they never directly said no, they never directly said yes. So it was kind of obvious that they would bring it one day, even though I thought it was published by Sony.
Well, when it was first kind of revealed to the world in a big way I think it was at E3. And they had like the little, it wasn't even a demo, it was just the video of the ship flying down and seeing all the dinosaur-like creatures and everything. That was at Sony's E3 press conference, and I think they did have some sort of a partnership type thing going on. Sony kind of nurtured it, and then we all know what happened. The unpleasantness.
Dropped it like a bad habit.
Yeah. But I mean, it's great that they're still working on it. And, this is just like they're a smaller team, I think. Right. And I don't want to say inexperienced, but it's not like a mainline studio. And, it was just an ambitious project, and it just took a little time to, what's the term? Not flower, bloom, so to speak. So yeah, it's cool that they're still working on it, and it's nifty that it's coming to the Xbox One X.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there'll be Xbox X enhancements for this game. So
right, with HDR.
That's right. Got to have that.
Now it says 505 games will be published in the physical version of the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, and then so the previous DLC added looks like at the story content, joint exploration online co-op, which I don't think DB saw much or saw at all actually, as far as I remember correctly. So there's no other information on what the next DLC is about. They didn't really say anything other than just having the little font that says No Man's Sky next. So we'll see what that's going to be about when it comes out. So I'm looking forward to it. Once again, it's kind of like an exploration, survival, building kind of a game. So it's kind of right up my alley. I like Minecraft. I like Terraria, which I don't talk about too much, but I do play that every once in a while. And just, obviously Minecraft builders.
Dragon Quest builders.
Yeah, Dragon Quest builders, and Lego Worlds, stuff like that. So I'm always interested in that. So, and this one seems, like leaps and bounds beyond that. At least explore the exploration part. So I'll be excited to see that.
Well, I know at least that's something. Unlike Star Citizen.
Oh yeah, there's your favorite game. Had to mention it.
All right, so I think we have time maybe for one real quick hit on some commentary, and that is the Game Informer news about the contest. So what it struck me about this is it's like most game companies, well, pretty much no game companies will just take your quote awesome idea and make a game out of it. It just doesn't happen that way. So it's cool that they're doing this, I guess. And I just hope that they take it seriously enough, and maybe we'll get some cool games out of it. Because I think Turok and Battlestar Galactica and Voltron have, they're cool IPs, and they could have cool games if done well. But
no Jaws? You don't want to see a Jaws game?
Nah. Well, I guess if you can make something quirky where you're the shark or something.
Yeah. 3D Jaws game. I'm sure that'll go well.
But
yeah, hopefully they don't just say, oh, you know what, none of these are good, and then 5 years later, all these games pop up. So
I guess at minimum you still get $20,000. So
yeah, it's not bad.
I don't want a Back to the Future game because I'm tired of things that I like from the 80s being ruined in modern incarnations.
Did you ever
So-
try the Telltale game, Back to the Future?
No, but didn't that kind of? I mean, that kind of like captured this. Did that capture the spirit of the movie pretty well?
I'm not sure. I didn't get to play it, but I think it was a
All
free
right.
games with gold recently. So maybe one day I'll go through it. But I
All right.
kind of got
'Cause
mixed reviews.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it followed. I thought I remember a Telltale game for that. I didn't know if it followed the movie's storyline or what. But
I think it wasn't the movies. It was just like a continuation, like a sequel, technically.
Oh.
I guess. Yeah, it was a different story.
all right. Well, I reiterate my point. I'm tired of things that I liked from the '80s being ruined by modern incarnations. Okay, so that's all the time we have. I hope you like the new format. We're still working out the kinks because this is the first time we've done it, and we'll see how it goes. We'll let Gascles and DBQ review the total chaos and see if it's something they want to continue, and welcome your thoughts. But for now, for Prime, and I am SwissGuard. I think I might have mentioned at the beginning. If not, it's Prime and SwissGuard tonight, and we'll catch you on Tuesday for the discussion show. Have to come up with a topic at some point. Till then, everyone, have a great evening. Bye.